Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy ETT. I'm joined by IPF today. I don't know what this is. We're gonna call it. What do you want to call it? The Young Webs podcast.
Yeah, sure. Young hazards,
Young
just
hazards.
something we think of
All
before
right.
the before we put this video out.
All right. One of the hazards. I think I like it, Young Webs because it's sticky. Once you listen to it, you're stuck, and you can't.
Okay, I thought that was going a completely different route. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, you need to chill out. All right. I literally mean that this podcast is gonna be entertaining, and you're not gonna want to like leave, and you're gonna want to keep coming back for more. That's it. That's all I meant. Bro, you need to get your head out of your ass.
Okay, chill. All right. Okay, so basically what's happening is we finished streaming on ATT's Twitch. Plug. Link down below.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Link down below.
and it's currently 3 in the morning where he is, and he doesn't want to
3:05.
sleep. He doesn't want to sleep, so we just thought, we're just gonna chill, talk on recording, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's what we talk about in general anyway. I guess I just decided to hit up OBS and, you know, record it. But yeah.
Yeah, we're basically just recording us talking generally.
Yeah, that's basically it. So, what you want to talk about?
I don't know. Okay, so I mean, before this, we were talking about how like we started playing Pokemon together. Um, so like individually, both of us started with Diamond and Pearl. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, Diamond was
Yeah.
my first game. Well, I don't know. Technically, Emerald was my first game, but I played that for like 2 weeks and then I got stuck and then I lost it. I lost my Game Boy. Um,
Oh, this was a wild story. Didn't
so
you like leave it in the back of a cab or something?
Not a, okay. So basically, what happened was this was I think the beginning of 2007 or like end of 2006. So this is basically before Diamond Pro came out. So this is when like everybody was still on the Game Boys playing Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald and stuff. And so I well my parents bought me a Game Boy and Emerald. Um, and like I was playing, I got to like I remember Dewford Town is where I got stuck. That's the
Is it
second
the
gym.
cave?
Yeah, the cave,
Is
because I couldn't see. So basically, it was dark in that cave, and you needed flash. But to use flash, you needed to beat the gym leader, which I couldn't do because he's like his Makuhita would dick me down every time. So like, I was trying to grind in the cave, and then I got lost. And because it's dark, I couldn't get my way out. So like, I was stuck in that cave for like maybe a couple of days at least, like on like a week maybe. Um, and then my family and I were like, okay, let's go on vacation. So I'm guessing this is end of 2006. Maybe it was like Christmas vacation or whatever, because like we were out of town, and so, um, it was a rental car that that I was sitting there. Excuse me, I was sitting there in the back seat playing my Emerald, trying to get out of Dewford Cave. It's like wandering around like a loser, pretty much. And yeah, and then I left it on the seat of the rental car, and I got out. I think we were going up to the hotel to get something like we're about to come back down to the car in like a couple of minutes. So like I left it on the seat. I went up. I think we needed to get like food. So I had a baby sister. I think we had to get like more diapers or like milk or whatever. I don't know. We needed to get something. We came back down, and I opened my door and like my Game Boy wasn't there. I'm like, what the fuck? It's gone. And like I looked around the car. I looked under the seat. I looked, and all the zips on the back of the seat and stuff like that. I checked in the trunk. I don't know. We just couldn't find it anywhere. And then I was like really depressed, like really sad, because like this is my first time. All my friends had been playing Pokemon for like a year or so before that. My parents were just like, no, I'm not gonna waste money on this game that you're gonna outgrow in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
That worked out
Ten
well.
years later.
But that's what my parents thought. They're like, I don't want to buy like the game for you because you're probably gonna quit playing it. So like, and then I like finally like convinced them to get it for me. Then I lost it immediately. And I was like really upset. And like yeah, and then I'm like, okay. My parents say, okay, well before we give the car back to the rental company, we'll like completely clean everything out just to make sure we don't leave anything here. So you'll probably find it then. I'm like, okay, cool. So like I was waited. I had like my hopes up for like the next couple of days, and then when we finally went back to the rental car company, we cleaned everything out. We took out like they like made sure that like the company themselves made sure that
There's nothing left in the
yeah,
car.
we didn't leave anything. Like in some places, like it's the customer's responsibility, but these people they made sure for us. I guess I don't know, but like they helped us, like they took out like all of, like the covers of the seats and stuff, like the floor mats and stuff, and we just couldn't find it anywhere. So I still, like, to this day I still don't know what happened. My emerald was in my DS. Like I lost my game and I lost my DS. I was like really upset.
Your Game Boy, not your DS.
Oh yeah, my Game Boy. I'm sorry, my Game Boy and the emerald. So like I was really upset about that. And then like the next year for my birthday. So my birthday is in August. So 2007 August, they got me a DS and they got me a Blue Rescue Team. They're like, I guess they just saw it was Pokemon on the title, so they bought it for me. Like I had a fun time playing that.
Yeah,
And
Extra
then,
Life is fire, dude. Like that's like one of the better spin-off.
yeah, it's probably the best spin-off
actually.
game in my opinion. But yeah, so like I was playing that for a while, but I realized none of my other friends had Mystery Dungeon games. They all had the main series ones. So for Christmas, I went to GameStop and I exchanged my I traded in for Diamond. So like technically, I still think Diamond is my first game. For the
Yeah, it's
most
a
part.
main series game. I guess it does count
Yeah.
because you didn't really finish the other ones.
Nope.
Yeah, for me, okay, Diamond was released in 2006. I got it as a Christmas gift, I think, in 2006 with the DS. So at the time, I was 5 years old. I did not know what I was doing at all. If you look at a map of like Twin Leaf Town, there used to be a pond below it, and I used to think that was the lake you're supposed to go to. So I got stuck there, and I was like, oh, you know what, this game is stupid. I don't know what's happening here. I went to the lake. They told me to go to the lake. I went to the lake. Nothing was happening. Until eventually one of my friends who had actually played the game, he was like a year older than me, like one of our family friends, and he's like, you know the lake's like north of the town, right? It's not this. And yeah, eventually he got me through that. He gave me some cool Pokemon, like he gave me a Machop, which because it was traded, eventually I got a Machamp. He gave me a Staravia. He just gave me the tools to actually get through the game when I was like still like 6 years old. And yeah, Pokemon Diamond first game. After that, like I think my parents got me Pearl because they didn't know that they were just the same game but rebranded pretty much.
Yeah. I always wanted Pearl, but I guess when I went to think they didn't have Pearl. I always thought Palkia looked cooler, but they didn't have it, so I'm like, okay, I guess Diamond works.
So yeah, I got Diamond, then I got Pearl in 2007 or 8, which is kind of lame, but yeah. And then after that, I got it. I got a okay, Nintendo, don't listen to me, but I got an R4, like most people did. Like most people did, and yeah, I got Pokemon Black and White on that. And then I bought Black 2 legit, and then I played Pokemon Y after I bought a 3DS, which I have unfortunately lost, and I have no idea where it is.
Didn't you find it like a couple of weeks ago?
And I lost it again. So
Oh, gee, good. All right, good job, good job. Shout outs to IPF for losing everything.
Let's just not talk about that.
All right.
And yeah, I haven't actually managed to play any of the main series games after because I've just been playing on Showdown pretty much the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I haven't played main series games. I actually haven't played a lot of them. So I played Emerald for what it's worth for like a little bit before I lost it, and then I played Diamond. I played, and that's basically it. Because again, my parents like they really thought that I'd outgrow Pokemon eventually, which didn't
Did
work
you
out.
get White?
So yeah,
like
ultimately I finally bought White. I bought White like a week before Black and White 2 were about to release, because I didn't know at that point that there were new games coming out. So I just bought White because that's what I knew was the latest games. But so yeah, I played White, and then I haven't played X or Y, and I haven't played Sun or Moon. Like I haven't played Black to White 2 either. I mean later on, like I figured out what emulators were, so like I did that. So I haven't played the original Red, Blue, and Yellow. And I haven't played Gold and Silver.
It's just hard to look at. Yeah.
Yeah, but I played through Ruby. Oh, and then I think I traded one of my other old Game Boy games, for one of my friends, either Ruby or Sapphire, and then one of my other friends, or maybe it was the same guy, but he gave me the other version. So right now I have both Ruby and Sapphire. I don't remember how I got my hands on both of them, but I didn't buy either of them. I know I either like finessed one of my friends out of giving it into me or something, or I traded another game for it. I don't remember, but right now I have Ruby and Sapphire. So I played both of those multiple times, and obviously Fire Red like so many times. On like emulators
I don't
and
think
stuff.
I've actually played through Fire Red. I've played through all the ROM hacks, but I don't think I've actually played the original game.
You should. I think outside of Diamond is probably my favorite, just in terms of the story. And because like the Sevi Islands in the end, like I always thought that was really cool how they have like a bonus kind of thing. which most of the Pokemon games don't have. Like post game is pretty whack for most of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so that's like us individually starting. But then around we knew each other in fourth grade because we were in the same school at that point. Like I joined HT school in fourth grade. I joined like towards the end, I think.
it was like like 2 months maybe left to at the end of the school year.
Yeah, and we knew each other, but like not that well.
Like I knew he
Um,
existed, but I don't think we ever like talked to each other.
yeah.
Like really,
But
yeah.
then, yeah, and then fifth grade we didn't really talk to each other much. But that's when I started playing Pokemon with friends. Like I started we used to play Diamond against each other at that point. Um, remember one of our friends had a Darkrai, which at the time we had no idea how to beat. All of us were so annoyed because obviously there's no sleep clause on fucking cartridge. So all of us were like, okay, so we're gonna beat it with this Pokemon. And unfortunately, Darkrai is faster, puts us to sleep, and then kills us the next turn.
Yeah,
It was so awful.
that dude. So by the time I introduced like a bit, so the friend that this guy's talking about, let's call him M. All right, so let's call this guy M, the one that IPF is talking about. So, IPF and M were friends like all fifth grade. Like they were in class
We were in the
together.
same class, yeah.
Yeah, they were in the same class in fifth grade, and then in sixth grade IPF moved to my class, so we were together in sixth
Yeah,
grade.
because
So
like
like
in India, what they did, like in the lower classes, basically every time you move up a year, they just shuffled everyone. They just picked whoever they want and put them in different
yeah,
classes.
they randomized it every year until ninth grade, I think, until high school. So
Shout out to Orange just for putting us in the same class.
and Jesus, but yeah, so sixth grade, me and IPF were in the same class, and he introduced me to M, and at this point he introduced me, and like I realized that we both played Pokemon and stuff like that, and like, he's like, bro, M is so good, like he has this Darkrai that I can't beat, or like whatever, like he told me that he was supposed to be really good,
Can we
but
just point out that this Darkrai was hacked in?
yeah, that's just some.
and
So
had a-
basically, I didn't know that at that point, but he had it was like literally a max like timid freaking like Darkrai. Like it was a legit it was a horrible set. Like it was Dark Void, Dark Pulse, like
yeah,
Nightmare and
because
Dream
I
Eater,
had
but
control over the set, and we were like 9 years old. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna put stuff to sleep. I'm gonna abuse the sleep and use Nightmare and Dream Eater and all them broken moves.
yeah, exactly. But it was like a legit 383 max speed Darkrai, which like that was crazy. But at that point I kind of understood the concept of EV training already, so I don't know if these guys did, if IPF and M did.
No, I
but-
definitely didn't. I only learned about EVs and stuff in like 7th or 8th grade. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just didn't care at that point.
But I had like a basic understanding of what it was because my friend. Well, that's a whole different story. I guess I'll get into that maybe like some other time. But I already had kind of a basic understanding, so I knew that he had like a Darkrai, and it was like really fast. Like basically all I knew. So I knew that I had like to beat it in a way. So, I mean, like he challenged me because he thought like M thought he was like the goat or whatever, and I smacked his ass. I forgot what I used. I think I had like Lumberry on my Infernape, and I just like CC'd his ass into Oblivion.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't lose to any of us at any point. He was like undefeated.
No, I beat him. That's what I'm saying. I beat him, and I think that's when he's quit playing, like with the rest of us. Maybe it
no,
wasn't.
okay,
Maybe it
no.
wasn't 6 years.
No, he
Maybe it was a
kept-
couple years
He
later.
kept playing with us. He kept playing with us, but no.
He just refused to battle me again. He's like, "Damn, you're too good." Like that.
Yeah,
This is facts. Like this is factual. Maybe it didn't happen the exact way that I remember, but it was something
Yeah,
like this.
that was our friend group. Like there used to be like 6 or 7 of us who used to like go to sleepovers and just play Pokemon against each other for like hours.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that was middle school.
That
And
was
yeah,
like 6th grade. 7th grade, we kind of did the same thing.
pretty much. Yeah. So seventh grade IPF wasn't in my class. 7th and 8th grade. So we
And
kind of
we
like.
had a falling out with some other guys in my friend group, so
Yeah.
we just stopped talking to each other for that entire year.
Yeah, 7th grade we weren't really that tight, and then 8th grade I still didn't really like the other guys that IPF hung out with, but he was pretty cool. So like I would still like hang out with him.
It was super because our classrooms used to be opposite to each other, and I remember this. There used to be like a thing, like it was like a room kind of thing outside the classes. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh, I remember. I know
But,
what you're talking about. I remember.
Yeah, so I remember sneaking out during short break and stuff to go talk to this guy because I was like, if any of the other guys saw me talking to you, they'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you talking to this guy? We're not friends with him anymore.
Yeah, that was like some wild, like, yeah, those were some wild times. I think I forgot what the reason was, but it was basically something. It was like Bros Before Hoes in like 8th grade version. So that was when like hormones
Right,
started kicking in.
yeah.
Yeah, that was when like Homer. So I started like talking to girls and stuff. I'm like, ooh, like I like this, and like girls are cool, and these guys are like, um, they were still in like the whole cootie kind of phase. They're like, oh, it's a girl. I don't want to, be part of that.
I
So
mean,
like
you're not wrong because what? Okay, this is seventh grade, so I
eighth,
was
seventh or eighth
10.
grade. Yeah, you were 10. You were fine. You were like a little kid. Like you're like a year younger than everybody else. That's fine. But in general, like all these other guys, so like that's when we kind of had like that's when they kind of started getting annoyed at me because like I'd like blow them off to like hang out with this one particular girl. Um,
You might go into the story another day. I'm not sure about this.
yeah, I'm not getting into that, but like, but yeah, like I think that's where it started, and then it just kind of like snowballed,
Yeah,
into
and
the
then
point.
after that, like he got put in a different class than everyone else, so eventually everyone just kind of drifted. Like we just drifted apart from ATT.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, I mean, you and I were still friends for the majority of eighth grade. Seventh grade, not really, but eighth grade, we
Yeah,
were.
like after like halfway through, I think we started talking to each other.
Yeah, I think that's when
And
I think we started like playing cricket together or whatever, and like that's when we're like, hey, I guess we'll like start hanging out
yeah,
again.
yeah, well, cricket was that was a whole thing. Cricket
Yeah,
that was a huge part of our lives. At that.
at that point it was. Yeah,
Um,
that was before I started playing basketball.
yeah, and
Um,
eighth grade's also when we started to dabble with Showdown.
yeah. Eighth grade is when I think the summer between seventh and eighth is when I found Showdown online. Like I was, so I think if I'm not getting the timelines messed up, but I think this is when Black and White 2 were coming out, or something like that.
Okay, you started Showdown in 2013,
Something
and
like that, yeah.
Pokemon Black and White came out in 2010.
11, 10.
So this
So
one
maybe
Black to White 2, I think. This one Black to White 2 came out was
so
2013.
okay, so maybe it's Black to White too, but basically, or maybe it might have even been X and Y actually. But I remember it was a game that I wanted, but I couldn't. Like my parents, like they refused to buy it for me, so I was looking online for like, a way to play it online. So I knew emulators existed at this point, so I was trying to see if I could, figure out how to play either Black to White 2 or X and Y, whatever the game was online. And then I looked up like Pokemon Online Simulator or whatever, and like that's how I found Showdown. So.
And yeah, ATT introduced me to Showdown. At the time, both of us didn't know what the hell we were.
Yeah, I thought I was like fire for hitting like 1200 on the ladder. I'm like, boy, I'm so good at this game. Um,
Yeah, we both had different. In fact, ATT used my current at that time.
oh yeah, I
We
used
were
to use
talking about it.
I used to use I'll probably forfeit. So I used to use another alt that's too close to my name, so I'm not gonna reveal it. Some of like the OGs, you probably know what it is. Like I used to use
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, I know.
until like the last couple of until basically right before I started doing YouTube is when I used to use. Until then, I used to use that old alt, and then I used to have I'll probably forfeit as like a testing account because I didn't want to lose ladder points and stuff. And then ultimately that just became my main account. So I started using IPF, and then when I started doing YouTube, I decided to switch over to Assess the Threat, and then yeah, and
Yeah,
I
but
just
I
kind
mean,
of gave it to him.
I used to have a different alt, and I'm like, I don't like this anymore. And this was like a year ago.
Actually,
And
really less than that. It was probably like 6 months ago.
actually, yeah. And then I'm like, what? I remember that ATT used to use this alt. I'm like, I always liked the name, so I'm like, I'm just gonna steal that. And he gave me the passwords to everything. Um, I still like I used the 3-letter version because that's just I'd rather not just have the entire thing. It's a pretty long name. I'll probably forfeit.
Yeah.
So yeah, wherever possible, I use IPF.
In fact, if you really want, if you go back to my very first video, the one I did with like when Mega Swampert was released in Sunmoon,
He introduces himself as I'll probably forfeit.
yeah, I was on the I'll probably forfeit all back then. So this was like June of 2017. When
Yeah.
that's when until then that's when I used it, and then I'm like, okay, I don't like this, so
Yeah, I basically just stole his alt. I guess it worked out. I guess.
yeah, it's fine. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Um,
So that was eighth grade, and then the ninth and tenth we were in the same class again, but we didn't really play too much Pokemon at that point. I think we kind of stopped for a while. We
so
were
yeah,
we
so
were big on basketball at the time. We didn't really play Pokemon at all.
So I don't know about you, but what I remember is like my dad got super heated at me. He got super mad at me because he's like, "Okay, you've been playing the same game since you were 7 years old. You need to like grow up." And so he hid my DS. He blocked he set up like a firewall kind of thing on our internet at home that blocked anything that had Pokemon in like on the web page anywhere. And so like basically the whole year I kind of like was kind of forced into a hiatus. Um, and
Yeah, that
like
didn't happen for me. I guess I just stopped playing. I guess
yeah, I
I never
remember
really got
that.
into Showdown that much. I wasn't like too into it at the time. Like I played Pokemon Y at that time, but that was just like I had a 3DS. Like I may as well just get the game. and yeah, we just didn't really compete at that point. We didn't play competitive, at least.
Yeah, in
Um,
fact, I only started. So I basically at the end of ninth grade, and then I kind of got back. So once my dad, I kind of like he kind of calmed down after a year, and like I'm like, all right, but I still like Pokemon. He's like, all right, do whatever you want. I don't care. You're in high school now. Do what you want. It's whatever. And so like that's what I started. I got back into Showdown like immediately, and then that's when I remember I loaded up and I'm like, all right, let me put my Greninja on here. And it's like banned. I'm like, what? Okay, what about Aegislash?
oh,
Banned.
I
I'm
remember
like,
that. I
oh,
remember that time in Oras too. When not Oras, it was XY.
X
When
Y,
like
yeah,
all of the amazing Pokemon were blue. It was like Azumarill, Greninja,
yeah,
Thundurus was asteroid at one
yeah.
point. It
Latios,
was
Keldeo.
wild. It was wild.
Yeah,
But
so like, and blue's my favorite color. Which funny story. I only um this is like completely unrelated to the Pokemon story, but basically the girl that I was talking about before, her favorite color was blue. My favorite color actually was red, but she told me her favorite color was blue, so I told her my favorite color was blue too because I was
oh
like
my
13
god.
years old. Not a lot of people know this. Like I don't think IPF knew this until like right
Yeah, I
now.
did not know this, and I've lost respect points at this point for you.
Yo, I was like 13 years old, chill out. But I told her that my favorite color was blue too, because I wanted to have something in common. And then over time, I actually did start liking blue. So blue really is my favorite color now, regardless of what other people think. But um, that's kind of how it started out. But yeah, anyway, back to the Pokemon thing. So I remember I loaded everything. So it was like towards the end of XY, right before Oras
Yeah,
came
I think
out.
this is before Arceus. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, damn, everything's banned. So like, so that's like kind of started getting into competitive. Like, I started understanding what the metagame trend and stuff were. I started reading. That's when I found Smogon and like their articles and stuff. So I started reading the dexes, like the strategy guides and stuff. But I didn't really get into like real competitive, until Sun Moon came out. Cause I remember when the Sun Moon leaks were happening, I don't remember if it was IPF, but I remember discussing Toxapex specifically with one of my friends. I'm just like, damn, this thing is fat. It gets Regenerator. It gets this ability called Merciless. That seems really cool. It gets like Recover. It gets T Spike. And I remember it gets Knockoff. And I remember um, like discussing this. And that's when that's like the earliest memory I have of like real competitive Pokemon of actually knowing what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Well, I never really got into the Sun and Moon hype because at that point, my previous experience with Pokemon, I made it to like 1400 on the ladder on a different alt during XY, and that was like, oh, I had like stuck there, and I was like, you know what, I'm like around that time is when I stopped playing for a couple of years. In fact, just 1 year, I stopped playing at that point. So I knew what was happening. I didn't know there was a new game or anything, but once I started playing again, I did understand like how the game was working and things like that. And yeah, the only reason I ended up getting back into it was like in 11th grade. ATP, he sent me Thunder Brother 777 for his Google Quick Draw, and from there, like I started watching him. I started watching Pokemon D, Joey,
Joey, my
and
boy. Yeah, I don't remember how that. I remember like I started watching. I think I used to, so when Sun Moon first came out, or like before they were coming out, I used to watch Velisify because he would like come up. He had like the news things. He would be like right on top of that. Obviously, he wanted the views. At that point, I didn't really get that, but like he wanted the drama and the views. So, like I would watch him, and then one of the
I was the
recommended
one who's like,
videos.
I was the one who was like, "Bro, this guy's whack, dude. Why are you watching this guy?"
Yeah, all right. Well, in hindsight, like now I understand, but okay, to be fair, even then I still agree with some of his points about the whole cheating thing. I just don't really care about it. Like I'm not as crazy about it as he is, but I still think if you're gonna I still don't think you should be genning when it comes to worlds, but I also now understand how hard it is to like actually EV stuff up and how much you need to change stuff around from game to game. It's not like you can just bring the same team and like not tweak anything. So like I get that, but I still feel like you should try not to gen. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But yeah, I used to watch Realistify, and then I think one of Joey's videos came up on like the recommended thing because he has like pretty good SEO too. So like I watched one of his videos, I liked it, and then obviously as soon as you click on one of Joey's videos, everything else recommended is gonna be Hita Fajita, Hita Fajita everywhere. So like I watched one of those. I thought Blunder was really funny. I checked out his channel, and I knew IPF didn't really play Pokemon too much, but I knew that if I showed him one of his videos, he'd get back into it. So I'm like, okay, I scrolled through Blunder's thing, and I found the first thing that wasn't Pokemon related, and it was quick draw thing, and I sent it to him. And I knew as soon as he'd watch it, Fajita and stuff would like show up on the recommended, and I knew he'd be hooked. So like,
Yeah.
finessed.
Yeah. So at that point, like I started to improve at the game. ATD improved, and then he became shit again recently. I don't know what
I've been
happened.
on a tilt. Okay, that's all that happens. It's fine. I still know that if I play seriously in tournament, I still think I'd do well. But I've been on a tilt for the last like 2-3 weeks, basically.
I feel like I've been improving as a player. I still have a ways to go because in tournaments, I am very susceptible to being hacked recently. I don't know what's happening.
I feel like sometimes you
But
put yourself in position to get hacks. Like if you start playing passive, or you just like,
yeah, I do have the tendency. Like if I feel that the game's in like I can win from here, I just stop playing, making plays pretty much.
yeah,
But yeah, it does happen. But yeah, once I started playing again after watching the quick draw video and all of Hida Fajita and all of them, and
I am way out
yeah,
here.
yeah, and then eventually I got into Smogon. I started reading Overused, all the viability rankings. I started finding good teams to use. Watching tournaments was like really interesting to me, just to see how like good players played, as opposed to 1,500 ladder players at the time. And yeah, managed to improve. Ideally, during the next year, I should like get to a point where I can actually compete in tournaments properly. But yeah, what happens from now keeps going. I don't know how long I'll keep playing Pokemon though. That's another story.
Yeah, that's the whole thing too. I don't know. When college starts, who knows how much time I'll have to actually play Pokemon and stuff. But I don't. It's something that I don't want to stop playing. Like I just feel like I've been playing this for over half of my life, so it's kind of like a part of who I am at this point. Like all my friends know. So I'm like decently athletic. I play a good amount of basketball. My teachers know that. Like, not forget my teachers, but like my friends know that. They look at me, and I'm decently tall. I'm like 6'1". I'm kind of well built ish. Like not fat, but like I'm decent. Like if you looked at me, you wouldn't think I'm a
You're
nerd.
well built, but then recently you put on a bit of weight.
I put on weight. I'm just talking about. Yeah, I'm trying to lose it back. I'm talking about general. But like, if you look at me, you wouldn't think of like somebody that's like nerdy on the inside. But I'm like super like corny. Really, like Pokemon is one thing. But like I'm a real. Like I love science and that kind of stuff. Like I'm majoring in physics. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm majoring in physics. In college this fall, and like I'm really nerdy, but I don't look like that. Like I don't look like a nerd. Cause like and like like I said, like I with the ladies and stuff. That's still me. I'm so like smooth man. Of course, I have a girlfriend now, and I'm really happy with her. But like if you just looked at me, you wouldn't think I'm a nerd. Especially you wouldn't think I was like into Pokemon and stuff. But like I am, and like it's just a part of who I am now. Like I just feel incomplete without it. If I go like 4 or 5 days without logging onto Smogon or like hitting up a ladder game, I just feel like I'm missing something. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, for me, like, I'll be starting med school. I still haven't started for some reason.
I still
Probably
don't get why you haven't started. Everybody else in like
it's weird. They did. I still need. I'm waiting on a call from them. They're like, okay, you need to pull up on this day. But
Okay.
yeah. So I'll be starting like a week or two, ideally. And med school, obviously, very stressful, very time consuming. I'm not sure whether how much time I'll get to keep playing Pokemon. Ideally, weekends I can record videos for my channel and like play it small on tour if I have the patience to wake up at that time and all that. But I feel like I can always make time for Pokemon as long as I'm still enjoying the game.
Yeah.
I've never had too many issues with like telling people I play the game because obviously back when I was like I moved after 10th grade, so like me and ATT we didn't live in the same city or anything, but back when we were still in the same school, my friends knew like I'm a tiny kid. At that point I was like 5'6". I was somewhat chubby. We used to play Pokemon together and everything, so people knew like I'm not popping or anything. But once I came here, like I growth spurt, I came across this 6-foot guy with an American accent in a school full of Indians, who played basketball and all this other stuff. So nobody really cared when I said, I play Pokemon. They're like, yeah, who cares? You're cool. But yeah, I guess image was never really a problem for either of us in terms of
not really.
oh, this guy plays Pokemon.
Yeah, I haven't had that issue.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Now for now it's about finding time to play and record.
yeah, it really is. Like right now, this is like the only time it's 3:30 or 4 a.m. right now. But that's not gonna stop me. I like what I'm doing. Hopefully I don't really have to stop at any point.
Yeah. Ideally, me and ATT, we'll probably find the time like per week where we can sit down and actually record for an hour, because right now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, and I'm not going to be getting this kind of time at 2 in the afternoon to record videos once college starts. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to work something out, but I'm sure that we can, at least on the
Yeah.
weekends.
Nice
But
10.5 hour time difference. Oof.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but uh, when you really put your head to something, I know that we can like get it done. So that's not a
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, as long as like the passion is still there. I feel like that's something that I think that's like really crazy. I don't know about like IPF, but I know like people like Blunder and stuff. Like once they start doing this, they're like, yeah, now I kind of have to because like I make money off of it, so it's kind of like a job for me. But I don't really enjoy the game as much as I used to. Like I know Blunder says that a
No, no,
lot.
okay. Blunder like fluctuates because he'll go from like good
No, but like
one
genuinely, like in
and I
general,
love the game.
he he okay, but like in general, he's at least on stream. Like that's what he says a lot. Like when he's just like actually chill and he's actually just talking. Like he's not really for the video, but he's just like talking to us, and he's like,
I think with him it's more about like he enjoys the game still, but then he wants to do something different with his YouTube, and he can't really do that
yeah,
at this point.
yeah, that's true. But like I think apart from Joey, like I still see like that passion in Joey when Joey plays Pokemon. But like that's something I feel like I still have. Like if you ask me, sometimes yeah, I get annoyed when I get hacked or like whatever. But like at the end of the day, I still love this game, and like I'm still gonna try to play it as much as I
Yeah.
can.
As long as I enjoy this game, I'll keep playing. I mean, you can tell Blunder still enjoys the game just by his post in the
Oh,
Mentor winning
of
thing.
course. That was like I bet he had
Like you
tears in
can
his
tell how
eyes.
much you can tell how much the trophy meant to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, like he actually went through and liked every single person's post on the
Oh,
thing.
every single one that said, every single person that said congratulations, he liked it. So like,
Yeah, like, you can tell he still has that passion for the game. Uh, as much as he says he hates it, but yeah.
he says he really hates it, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of a part of who I am at this point. Like I had it on my so when I was looking for roommates for college, I had it on my profile thing because like I knew like I don't care if you don't like it, but I do like this game and I'm gonna be spending time recording videos, playing tournaments and stuff, and like it's part of who I am, and you should know about it. So like I put it on my roommate application thing, just saying like in like interest and hobbies and stuff. I had competitive Pokemon battling, and I linked it was all online, so I linked smogon.com. That was crazy, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Pretty much yeah. So that's like our Pokemon stories, I guess, like how we started and all this sort of stuff.
Oh, I have this really funny story, um, about how I got finessed as a kid. I think I told this on stream a couple of times already, but basically, this is when the first time I played Diamond. So like I didn't know what I was doing. And my friend had been playing it. So like I said, my friends have been playing it for a while before that. So like they kind of knew what was going on, like what to do. And this boy snaked the crap out of me. Oh my god! I still like when
Oh, I know this.
when I think about it, like I still feel like the pain in my heart. Like oh my! So basically, I picked Chimchar because it looked cute and it was fire, and I thought it looked like I thought it looked pretty heat. But I picked Chimchar as my first starter, and I guess he didn't. I think he picked like Piplup or whatever. But he's like, dude, why don't you give me your Chimchar and I'll give you this really rare and powerful Pokemon. Like you'll trust me. Like it can beat your Chimchar once fully evolved. It becomes fighting type, and like trust me, this Pokemon can like wipe the floor with that monkey any day. I'm like, oh, this sounds like some like really powerful Pokemon. Like I should do this. So I traded him my like Chimchar for his all powerful, mighty Zubat. And oh my god, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh my lord, what was I thinking? To be fair, in his defense, Crobat does beat Infernape 1v1
I mean, you're not wrong.
for the most part. So like but yeah, but like that was so now that I think about it. And then like after a couple of like weeks I realized that he finessed me, so I'm like, okay, can I have my Monferno back? And he's like, nope. I'm like, please? And he's like, nope. Um but yeah, then we like battle each other, and then at the point I didn't really understand what was happening. Now I realized that it was a roll. It was just rolls. But basically, I'd lead Crobat eventually once I got to evolve. I'd lead Crobat. He'd lead Infernape every single time. I click Fly turn one. He'd click Flare Blitz turn one. Obviously, I was faster, because I get the Crobat. So like I'd Fly. He'd miss Flare Blitz. I'd hit Fly, and then it was always a roll. If I knocked him out, like I'd pretty much win the game after that. If I didn't knock him out and like he'd kill me at Flare Blitz, he'd Oko me, and then he'd end up winning the game. So like that always happened, and I always thought that was really cool how it would be like a back and forth. Like we battled. So he didn't live anywhere near me. He was like a friend of like my dad's like colleague, like his son or whatever. So I met him like once every couple of months, and we'd like go back and forth, um, just like 1v1ing Infernape versus like Crobats. Like I thought that was like really fun, but yeah, man, I got finessed.
Yeah, playing at that age was just like, whoever had the highest levels or who just had the cooler team at that point. Because we didn't care about what the other guy was bringing. We just
Oh
played
yeah,
whatever
for
we
sure.
felt like it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for
for
sure.
me, like I used to have this rivalry with one of our friends, and we'll call him A. And basically, what used to happen was I used to sack all 5 Pokemon, and then I bring in my Zekrom final turn. I mean, final one Zekrom. I sweep through his team, and he throw out Excadrill finally.
Yeah.
And as most people know, Excadrill does hard wall Zekrom. And I used to lose at that point, and I didn't understand. Yeah, you should probably use your water type, dude, to actually kill the Excadrill before you start sweeping. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I was like, I remember when I used to play like in game, before I understood all this kind of stuff and like with stats and stuff, man, I would just like go through my TM. So at one point after I beat the game a couple of times, I got my hands on an action replay somehow. I don't remember if I bought it or.
I think it was mine actually.
No, not
you
yours.
You had your own. You had your
Yeah,
own.
I had my own. After mine got fucked up, and then that's when I borrowed yours. But, I had mine, and like I had all the TMs and like all the money and all that kind of stuff. But like I remember going through the TM list, and basically anything that was over 100 base power, I would like try to teach it everything I could. So I had like a Rampardos with Fire Blast, Thunder, Blizzard, and Head Smash or whatever. And, like that was wild, but.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, that's what I would do. And then I met a friend. He was the one that really taught me about like competitive battling. So he would, he actually like he knew what he was doing. Like he was, I don't know if he still plays now. He was like 4 or 5 years older than I was, but we lived in the same like apartment community. So like I met him one day. He was like sitting outside, just like grinding his T-Tar up and like Fire Red. I'm like, damn, that's like a really powerful Pokemon. Like he kind of showed me what EVs and stuff were. He showed me, he's like, okay, he's like, you probably shouldn't use Fire Blast. You should use Flamethrower because you're not gonna miss. The damage difference isn't that much. And I'm like, oh, that's like pretty cool. And like he kind of taught me like the basics about like competitive. But he taught me how to breed and how IVs and EVs and stuff works. Like, shouts to him. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be playing Pokemon right now. But
Yeah, for me, I didn't really have anything like. I think you like tried to explain EVs and IVs to me at one point. Then one I didn't really understand, and two I didn't really care at that time.
yeah,
But yeah, eventually I just picked it up on my own, I guess. Once I started playing on Showdown.
I think
And then
so. Yeah.
in terms of playing capability, it all came from watching Hida Fajitas and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, but I remember that dude. I don't want to take his name, of course, but like, damn, if it weren't for that
I
dude.
remember he tossed me on my neck.
Oh, he tossed me every. So basically, again, this is like after I had my action replay. So I had like a level 100 and everything. And, like I thought I was popping, like Okoing everybody. And then he pulls up with like his level 90s, but they were fully EV trained. So mine were all rare candied, of course, and his were like fully EV'd and stuff, like legit natures and like almost max IVs, cause he do it by hand. So. But like he tossed me on my neck. I'm like, damn, what's going on? How are his Pokemon so good? Like mine's higher level, but he keeps beating me. And then he like explained to me. He's like, I'm like, damn. I remember he tossed me with his Aerodactyl one day. He did like, jeez, that was wild.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, that's like how we started playing Pokemon. Is that a good place to end it?
Well, it's been 38 minutes. I was thinking if you want to talk about something else, we could end it here. It's only been 38 minutes. So I was thinking maybe make it a little bit longer.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'm not sure where to go.
All right. Well, let me see. Let me open up my Twitter, and whenever the first tweet is, let's talk about that. Hold on.
All right, boy.
Look at this quality content. Okay. All right. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and 10-kilometer run every single day. So, what do you think about that? What do you think about exercising and working out in general?
Oh God. Okay. For me, I can't go to the gym because well, there's really no point for me, if that makes sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense. What?
Like okay, you're not gonna see me lifting weights in a gym or anything like that. Yeah, there's no like real reason for me to be doing that because of like my body weight and all this other stuff. So, like when it comes to exercise, the maximum I'll do is like get on like I'll run, but outside of that, like I've never been a guy who's like just like gone out of his way to exercise. I usually, I play basketball, I go to school, and usually that's just enough exercise for my body in general. I guess that's how it is now, though. When you're a teenager, your metabolism's like ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
My metabolism is like really whack. Like I know that if I so for the most part, like mostly throughout high school, the only exercise I'd really get was through playing basketball.
Well, the thing is, we played a lot of basketball in ninth
Oh,
and
oh yeah,
grade.
we
We
played
played
like
so much.
yeah, that is true. We played way too much basketball. Basically, my life was going to school, playing basketball, coming home, and playing Pokemon. Like that was literally
Yeah, those
basically it.
like what
Oh,
are
and that
those?
one girl, and that one girl that I was
Oh,
talking
of
about
course, yeah,
earlier.
that one girl. Yeah, of course, that girl. Um, but yeah, no. What happened was like after ninth grade. Ninth grade we played, but not like in like a huge capacity. The 10th grade we finished off all our school stuff in around September, October, and our exams were in February. So we had 4 months between finishing all our like syllabus and stuff, and our exams actually started. So what we would do is, we try and finish our work, or we just tell the teachers, like, do it at home, because we actually used to do our work. Like we used to finish it off once we got back. None of us would like, just jaw on and be like, we'll do it at home, and then the next day just show up with nothing done. Um,
Yeah, we were
but we
actually
used to,
like pretty honest in that sense. Our teachers were like they'd respect the fact that we'd
yeah,
actually do our work, so they'd let us. Yeah.
yeah. So we used to tell them, that we're only at school for a few more, and we want to play together as much as possible. So we used to go like as soon as we finished something, we're like, okay, can you give us permission to go play? So in those 4 months, school would start at what, like 8 o'clock, 8:30,
8:30 ish. Yeah.
8:30, and it would end at 3:30.
Yeah.
And in that 6 hour, in those 6 hours, is that 6 hours?
Seven,
Or
I
is that?
think. I think that's seven. I don't know. 6, 7, whatever. Like yeah, that range. I think it's seven.
I think it's 7. Yeah. Okay. In those 7 hours, we used to spend at least 4 hours on the basketball court.
Oh yeah, for sure. And this is like peak like Indian like heat.
Yeah, we all got so tanned.
Bro, I
And
walked out. I was black. Like, oh jeez, I was
we were
black.
really dark, but we played so much, and we all had dehydration issues afterwards. But that's like a whole different issue.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't have dehydration issues. I had problems with like food, cause so what we would do would be so during the
Skip lunch. We used to
yeah.
skip lunch and go play.
So
Yeah.
the way our high school worked is that they'd give us 45 minutes or like 40 minutes. Um,
45. Oh, we had half an hour. That's it.
oh, okay, maybe it was 30. I thought it was 40 maybe, but okay,
Actually, it might have been 35. I don't know, somewhere in that range.
whatever, about like half an hour or so. So that was the only time we'd really have. So that was the time we'd get to both eat lunch and go out and like have recess. So it was like 30 minutes to do whatever you want. So 30 minutes, like if you ate food for like 15 minutes and we got to play basketball for 15 minutes, that was kind of lame. Like we can't really do anything. So we just like skip lunch altogether. Just like not go to like the cafeteria and we just play basketball for the 30 minutes. Um,
Yeah. So most of us were like hypoglycemic. Like once we got home, we were all tired as shit. We had headaches. We didn't. It was pretty bad for me, at least. I don't know about
well,
you.
I didn't have that much. I would just get hungry, so like I would just go as soon as I'd get home. I'd like raid the pantry in my room. I just like make myself like ramen noodles or like toast or like popcorn or like a sandwich or whatever. Like and basically I'd eat like 2 meals a day because I didn't eat breakfast before I got to school because like that would involve me waking up like 20 minutes earlier and I'd like miss me with that. So I'd have like so my schedule was I'd have a glass of milk in the morning, about a cup of milk pretty much, and then I'd bring like a little sandwich to school and I'd eat that sandwich on our way from like the classroom to the basketball court, um, like while we were walking there, so it was a good like 5 minute walk maybe. Yeah, and then I ate that, and then I wouldn't eat anything the rest of the day until I got home at like 4:30, and then I'd have like a whole meal, and then I'd have another whole meal for dinner at like 8:39 ish. That was like my food schedule. So it was like really weird. Yeah, like that was kind of
Yeah,
weird.
I mean, for me, I used to eat breakfast. My mom was very particular, like, yeah, she never let me leave without eating in the
Oh,
morning.
okay.
But yeah, I used to skip lunch with all my friends, of course. ATT and all them. And we
Yeah,
used to go
yeah.
play. And some days, like when it was extremely hot, I used to. Once I got home, I used to die. Like, I just felt like shit. I didn't know. Like I couldn't do anything at that point. There were some days where I felt like I was gonna be sick, but
I don't know.
this is like
Oh,
this
sorry,
is
go
like
on.
summer though. It's like 40 degrees, and we're out there playing basketball for hours.
Mhm.
So a couple of days, I used to come back like just broken, pretty much. But yeah, I used to do the same thing. I used to raid the pantry, just find whatever the hell I could to eat once I got back,
Mhm.
and yeah, eat dinner at night, I guess. But yeah, it probably wasn't the best for our health actually.
Definitely wasn't. But I mean, we got through. It was for like well, I did that all throughout high school. I don't know about you. I did that through the 4 years of high school. Um, but I didn't really
But
have any health issues. The only thing was I just get hungry. I mean, I don't know. The rest of you guys would be like, I would kind of like, when I could feel myself starting to get like, really tired and stuff, I'd actually like, I'd sit down. The rest of them, like, they just kept playing. But I could kind of like, I, and then like, I kind of quit earlier most of the time, like 10 minutes early. I just sit down because I didn't want to like faint or like I don't want to pass out. 'Cause I could feel it sometimes. So I just sit down.
yeah, we used to just keep playing and playing and playing, dude. But the thing is, like, I wouldn't trade that like experience back.
No,
I'd
no,
do it
no.
again,
Yeah, for
100%.
sure. I'd do it I'd take that every day of the week. That was the wave back then. I wish I could like go back to that days.
Yeah,
Ninth
that
and
was a
tenth
lot of
grade.
fun.
Yeah, ninth and 10th grade were probably the best 2 years of my life.
That was fire.
Yeah.
Just thank me for that because I convinced you to join our class.
That is true. You did do that. You did convince me to do that. Well, I was like pretty convinced.
That day was wild, though. That day was wild because what happened was between 10th and 11th grade. Sorry, not 10th and 11th. Sorry, 8th and 9th.
8th and ninth grade, yeah. So
Yeah,
between
so,
middle and high school.
Yeah, so basically, our school used to carry two different syllabi. Is that the word?
Syllabi is the correct terminology, yes.
All right, syllabi. Yeah. So they used to have CBSE, which is the standard Indian thing, and then they also started to carry IGCSE, which is the Cambridge thing.
The British one.
Yeah. So I had a good friend of mine who was in IGCSE, and he was like, "Dude, you have to join. This place is amazing." Because he joined a year earlier than me. Like the syllabus and everything is just so much better than what we used to do in CBSE. So on the day of getting my books for ninth grade, I'm like, Mom, you know what? We're switching. I just told her, you know what? We're switching this. I want to change of pace or something. So yeah, I switched over. I talked to the teachers and everything, and I got that sorted. And then eventually, I came across ATT and his dad, and he was like talking to his dad about it at that point, but his dad wasn't really convinced. He was
Yeah.
kind of like going over it.
Yeah,
And then
he was on the
eventually,
fence.
yeah, and then I'm like, I joined, and then ATT's dad asked my mom, like, "You sure about this one?" And then she's like, "You know what? It's just, I'm sure. Why not?" Because she didn't have like a big issue with that. She didn't really care as long as I did well. She didn't care what syllabus I was doing. So yeah, she's like, from what I've heard, the teachers are saying it's really good. IPF, my son was saying that it's really good. And yeah, that basically tipped ATT's dad over, and we both ended up joining the same thing.
Yeah, that would have been close.
Along with the girl that ATT was fawning over at the time.
Okay, all right, but thankfully
And then she quit.
dipped. Yeah, thankfully she dipped later on.
She couldn't handle higher mental capabilities.
Okay, all right, let's not go that far, okay? Cuz like we're kind of friends now, so I don't want to like snake on
I
her.
don't know. She couldn't like think in the way that was required out of this.
Yeah, no, the way IG demanded it was kind of different. So like I said, I'm like a physics kind of guy. So like the way I think, at least the way I attack like science problems is kind of different from like most kids, and you kind of have to have that kind
No,
of
in
thinking.
India especially, it's a big
Especially in
issue.
India, yeah, especially in India, because India the way they do it is even like math and stuff. They kind of ask you like memorize stuff, and like I'm not about that life. Like I can't memorize anything.
How math works here is that they give you two fat textbooks by the certain author, and they're like, okay, just remember every single question in those books, and in the exams you'll get the same questions.
Yeah, pretty much. And like I could never do that. So I think IGCSE was a better fit for me because like it. So it's more of like independent thinking as compared to the traditional Indian way that was like kind of just like rote memorization. So
Yeah.
um,
It was a lot more fun. It was more mentally stimulating.
it was definitely
I'm
harder.
just-
It was like just
It
harder
was,
math.
it was tougher. We learned a lot. It was like I walked into 11th and 12th grade, and I was still learning concepts which I had already learned in 10th grade.
Yep.
Uh,
There's still
doing
some. There's
IDCC.
still some that we just didn't have in in like 10th and 11th grade that we did the basics of in like ninth and 10th grade.
Yeah, it was a rewarding experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard. Like I remember like ninth grade, I nearly failed math. Like I think I got a D or
Oh,
something.
I failed math. I got an E, dude.
Yeah. So,
I got a 57. Jeez. Oh my God. My
yeah.
parents were on me that day. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Where
Yeah.
are these
Yeah.
marks coming from?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, we got like,
Yeah, me and ATT especially, we struggled a lot at the start of ninth grade because we weren't really used to it.
yeah,
But eventually, like quarter of the way of the year, and we started to get used to it, find ourselves in the syllabus.
yeah. I think
And
I think I did much better in IGCC than I ever would have if I continued with the CBSE
CBSE,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we found our way because I remember the first exams we were awful, dude. I remember this.
Yeah, my dad was like,
We,
"Man, maybe we made a mistake doing this,"
yeah,
but
we both did really badly, and I think after that, both of us like just picked it up, and I think by the time we finished, you were like third in our class, and I was like fifth, I think.
something like that. Yeah. Well, it depends from subject to subject. I still think like I was the top of our class in chemistry and computer science. Um, and then like physics and math, I was like second or third, depending on like it depends on the day. Who's
That was
yeah.
also another big thing because we had a lot of competition between us because us and a couple of other friends, we were all into the same things, we all loved the same stuff, and we were also like we were pretty good in class as well.
Yeah, we were
So
all
we used to have
equally like talented in terms of like academic prowess. So like we were all fighting, we were all competing. It was like friendly competition with each other. That we all like pushed each other to get like to do better, which I think
yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool actually. I remember being the goat at English.
Oh, bro, English, man, I swear to God, I thought I was gonna fail English towards the end of it. Like I
Oh,
did.
English was super. I remember. Okay, we had a really whack English teacher before we got a good one who actually taught us what we were doing.
Oh God, let's not. I don't want to talk about it right now.
Okay, we'll talk about that English teacher. I
Let's,
guess I don't know.
yeah, maybe on stream. I don't want to have that on record, like permanent record on video, cause.
So yeah, once we got a
Oh.
good English teacher, all of us we just started to enjoy ourselves, dude. Like she actually made us enjoy the subject,
Oh
enjoy
yeah,
writing in general.
she was a great teacher. I just sucked at English, like I just sucked at creative writing and stuff, but she was a great teacher.
I was
Like
the goat. I was the goat. I used to get I used to get so close to every time, but unfortunately, I have lost that skill because nobody does English properly in CBSE. So.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, 11th and 12th grade we both went back to CBSE because I don't know about for you, but for me it was just continuing with like the British thing was a little bit too expensive and it didn't really make sense because I was gonna apply to college in the U.S. anyway, so
US, yeah.
it really
For
didn't
me,
matter
it
to
was like,
me.
for me, I was going to apply to college in India, so I
Yeah.
ended up sticking with the Indian board after.
Yeah, but those 2 years, and then well, outside I guess outside of school. So like when I went back home, seventh and eighth grade were like probably my best. Like were probably the two best years, with like friends and stuff. Like in terms of everything that happened outside of class, and then at school, ninth and 10th grade were probably like the two best years of my life. I think.
Yeah, like school was a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah,
we
we
did
had
go. I went and visited ATT like was it 2 months now?
about
And, we
three,
did go.
two,
We
3
did go
months
back
ago.
to school.
Yeah,
We
we,
did go back to our school, and
yeah.
this is the first time for me going back in like 2 years. So it was weird seeing it, but
Must have been weird for you seeing how much it changed. Like, I was there, so I didn't really notice. But like,
yeah, you don't notice it, but for me, I'm like, damn, this became this. There's this now. There's
yeah.
a new thing there. It was wild, but I mean, for ATT, I think 11th and 12th was pretty whack for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty whack actually. Like I met my girlfriend in 11th grade, so like that was great. I really like her.
You like reconnected with M during 11th and
Yeah,
12th.
yeah. Em and I. So during ninth and 10th grade, all of us we kind of went our own separate ways. Like I wasn't like it was me and IPF together, and then the rest of our old friends they kind of like they were in their own kind of group of people, I guess, because they were doing the CBSE thing. So we didn't really get to hang out with them too much. But then when I went back after 10th grade, Em and I became like really tight. Like right now, him and I are like still really really close friends. Um, like we did like basketball and stuff together, and I've always tried to get him back into like Pokemon because like he used to play with us, but when he quit, I don't know, I forgot when he quit, but
He
I've
quit in
been
like I think he quit in 7th or 8th grade.
something like that, yeah, but yeah, I've always tried to kind of get him back into the competitive, and he's like, man, this is so much work. I'm like, bro, just watch this video by Thunderblunder 777, and you'll be fine. But I don't think he's ever gotten around to it. I don't know if he's watching this. Like, I know he subbed to me just because he's my friend, but I don't think he actually watches my videos, which is cool. But
But yeah. Like me and him were really good friends in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And once I switched over, I didn't get to talk to him much in 9th and 10th. 11th and 12th, I'm in a different city, so I didn't get to talk to him too much. Eventually, when I came back like a month ago, to a month or 2 months ago, to meet ATT and all my old friends there, I did talk to him a lot. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Yeah.
Even if you move, at least you can kind of keep in touch, like through like social media and stuff these days.
I
Like,
guess it's not really the same, obviously.
yeah, it's
But
not the same, but at least it's not like complete strangers, which is kind of nice.
we had a very good laugh about how I ruined one of his relationships, which we may get into another time.
I don't want to get into that today, not today, but
Yeah, I mean that was 11th and 12th for ATT. Like there were a bunch of whack people in my old school, and I guess in now your old school as well.
yeah, in my
But,
old school.
in our old school, it became very whack after, because pretty much everyone in our class in 9th and 10th, pretty much all of us left. We went to different schools. I moved, obviously. So
Yeah. It was like me and two other people that we stayed in the same high school, pretty much, and like, well, so it was me, one dude, and one girl. So I was pretty close with a girl. Like we had a lot of classes together in like 11th and 12th grade too. Like we were still friends, but like the guy, we were never really that close. And then after like that, we just kind of like pretty much like stopped hanging out and stopped talking to each other and stuff. He got like really serious with his like,
school
with
and
his
stuff,
schoolwork and stuff. So like, yeah, shout outs to him. I think he did pretty well for himself, like for what he finally ended up doing, which I think is like pretty happy for him. But yeah,
For me, I mean, I had to move, so I had to, start making friends again for the first time in like 7 years. Meeting strangers and trying to be friends, I guess.
yeah, and then now we both got to do that again for college because it's like,
Oh God.
well, I'm doing fine so far. I feel
Well,
like,
it's easier for you, but like I'm like introverted, so it's gonna be tough.
yeah, that's another thing. Like, I'm not. I don't know. I wouldn't call myself extroverted, but I also wouldn't call myself introverted. I feel like I'm like a decent balance, but
Yeah. Like I can hold a conversation with someone. It's just starting a conversation is a big issue for me.
I mean, what I usually do is I just walk up to somebody and like joke about whatever they were like joking, like they were talking about, and I'd like start talking about whatever they were talking about, pretty much, and like just kind of like hop in, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, I'll be meeting a bunch of people in like a week's time, I guess. All my classmates for the next 5.5 years. Shout out med school. Woo.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, by that time we might be on like Gen 9. Who knows what kind of Pokemon stuff we'll
I
be
gotta
going
be
on.
Gen 9, right? By that time.
Yeah,
We're like
definitely
1
Gen
3
9.
years.
Definitely Gen 9. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll still be playing. Dude, 5.5 years. My last like 1.5 years, I'll be working. Like,
That's true. That's true. I've actually been looking for a job. I just finished my resume a couple of days ago, so I'm gonna start throwing that out there.
yeah, I'll be
The next couple of days.
I would have just turned 20. No, I'll be 21 and a half by the time school.
Yeah, by the time I graduate, I'll be 22, class of 22. Woo woo, hook 'em. But
Yeah, I'm gonna be like significantly younger than any like med school students in America, because there you have to do all the pre-med stuff.
yeah, you don't have to do pre-med in India. It's quicker.
Yeah, so my plan is like once I finish med school, I'm gonna go over to the U.S. and do like go from there basically. So
Yeah.
when I do like that aspect of things, I'll be 22 I think by that time, and all my peers will be like 25, 26 years old.
4 years, at least 26, maybe more.
Yeah. So that'll be a whole thing.
Yeah, but I mean, at that age, it doesn't really matter how old you are. But
Kind of wild. I'll be a doctor when I'm 22. Like,
Yeah. Well, if you're going to the U.S., you do have to take like their other tests and stuff. Cause I don't know, it's whatever. I know there's
Yeah, no,
some stuff.
I have to start preparing for that after my first year.
Yeah.
It's a whole process.
It's a medicine is a process, but yeah,
So all right, what time are we at?
we're at 59 minutes and 49 seconds.
All right, 1 hour. I think that's a good place to cap it.
All right, want to end it right here? Okay. I had a good time. This was fun. We should do this. We'll try to do this again. Um, soon. I
Yeah,
liked it. We'll talk about
yeah,
something
it was,
else, not Pokemon.
yeah, and yeah. This one was about us starting Pokemon, school, and things like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like trip down memory lane. I guess we've been doing that a lot recently. Like the other day on stream, we were going back to our in-game teams, and like I guess today we're talking about real
Yeah,
life
yeah, yeah.
stuff.
That was fun. That stream was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that stream was fire. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, shout outs to you. Go ahead and check IPF out. Go ahead and follow him on Twitter. Sub to him on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitch. Join my Discord and sub to me on YouTube if you haven't yet. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see y'all later. IPF, any last words?
No, I think I'm good actually. Yeah. Peace.
All right. Well, see you guys later. Goodbye.